Welcome back, Mike.
How are you?
Welcome back.
Back from where? Where did I go?
You went nowhere for a week. We're back after a week. Actually, no, it was a shortened week because we did it halfway through last week. So this is good. I feel like we have less things to talk about, but in all reality, we have a lot of things to talk about because of insanity yesterday in the NFL.
Oh my gosh, I am so into it this year. Just watching all of it, like all the playoff scenarios and the Chargers Raiders game last night with God, they could tie, and then that screws Pittsburgh, and then it was. We were texting. You and I were texting back and forth last night, like, "Oh my gosh, can you believe this?" And it was so good watching all of that play out. So much fun. Why do you think that is this year that the NFL has just been better? Do you think it's the parity? Do you think it's the longer schedule? What do you think?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think first off, there's been really good football. I mean, there's a lot of like star play, which is great. I mean, you look at all the stats being broken yesterday, and granted, there's an extra game, so you have to factor that in. But like, so many pretty good stats were broken yesterday, like from Jamar Chase to Waddle to Brady throwing another 5,000 yards. It's like, my gosh, what else do you need to do? And I mean, I don't know. The world seems to be coming back a little bit to some normalcy. People are going to games, sellout crowds.
Yeah, I looked this morning. There were 6 rushers who had 1,000 yards, right? And that sounds, I don't know if that's, honestly, I don't know if that's normal, not normal.
Yeah.
But, and with an extra game, it's easier to get to that kind of thought of as successful season, right? 1,000 yards. There were 26 receivers with 1,000 yards or more. 26. If that tells you the pass happy league that we're in now, nothing else. And if that doesn't tell you that, then nothing would.
Yeah.
And a bunch of guys with 940 yards, 960 yards, you got Cooper Kupp doing what he did. Amazing season for him.
TJ Watt sneaking in, tying the Strahan record.
Yeah.
There's just some
22.5 sacks. That's a lot, by the way.
That is a lot. That is a lot.
So I've been so into it. I have, Cowboys played 49. I have no idea which Cowboys team is going to show up. Are they going to show up the team that throttled the, Phillies, the Eagles and the Redskins, or are they going to the team that shows up against the Cardinals? I mean, I just don't know. But it'll be fun. And I'm excited to see the Cowboys defensive line against the statue that is Jimmy Garoppolo. And if they have to go to passes at all, I'm excited to see Micah Parsons and, Randy Gregory and DeMarcus Lawrence go nuts on him. It should be fun.
Yeah. I mean, all bets are off now, right? There's no gimmies. You and I were talking offline. Like there's really not a clear number one. You could argue maybe a little bit the Packers. They have their flaws, of course, but the Titans is the number 1 seed. It's like no one feels confident in them being number 1. It just feels like it's anybody's Super Bowl, which is really exciting to me.
I think if you looked back, I think there were 6 or 7 AFC teams that at one point were the number 1 seed, including the Colts, who, by the way, aren't even in the playoffs. Right. So it's amazing the ebbs and flows this season. It's not like one team is just clear number 1 all season kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which makes it fun and it makes it interesting. And Big Ben gets a chance to play another game.
Which is great.
Yeah.
I dig it. I mean, it's against the Chiefs, but I dig it.
Yeah. The Chiefs are going to throttle the Steelers. I mean,
I think so. That couldn't have been an easier matchup for them. I mean, the Colts would have been a much more difficult. The Chargers or Raiders would have been a more difficult matchup than that.
Yeah. Anyway, it's been so much fun. And it's funny. I don't collect football cards, but I love football, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Well, I'm not with you. I do collect football cards, but
national championship tonight. College football.
Well, I'll just say this real quick about last night's game because we were talking, and I know everyone was talking on Twitter. I was so impressed with the pure like ice water in his veins that Herbert had. I mean, I'm a collector of Herbert. I like Herbert a lot. I just wanted to see the guy in the playoffs because the dude is just money. He's so clutch. The throws he was making, like fourth down after fourth down after fourth down, I haven't seen a performance like that in a long time. I was so impressed with him.
Yeah, he played really well and got them to the. I think if they wouldn't have called the timeout in overtime, the game would have ended in a tie.
Yeah,
they called the timeout with 20 something seconds left, and
Staley's an idiot.
And the guy's like, okay, I'll run another play, and run Jacobs up the middle for 9 yards, and they kick a field goal. I think it would have gone to double zeros, and they both make the playoffs. Anyway, crazy.
Crazy. Well, these playoffs, I think it's a safe bet to take the guys that have been there and done that. And so I believe in the Mahomes, the Bradys, the Rodgers. It's hard to bet against those guys.
Yeah, quarterback play matters. Quarterback play is amplified even more in the playoffs, right? Because it's so important, period.
For sure.
And defenses will either, matter also in the playoffs. So,
well, there's a couple guys that can do a lot for their card values. I mean, if Joe Burrow makes it to the AFC Championship game or to the Super Bowl and Jamar Chase is performing well, those two guys are going to explode. And Burrow is kind of still flying under the radar a little bit because Herbert's been so good. It's a good opportunity for any Burrow collectors to see the prices of their cards move considerably.
Do we really think the Bengals are going to go to the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl? Let's be honest.
I don't know, man. They don't have a tough road, and it's not like they won 10 games? They won 10 games.
Right.
They're no fluke.
That's true. All right.
You don't seem convinced.
No, I'm not convinced, but it is. We'll see. Every week, you never know who's going to beat who. So, what else we got on the docket today for On the Fly?
I'm going to show you this real quick, and I want you to respond to it. You ready?
Sure.
This is Ja Morant yesterday against the Lakers. I want you to watch this block again. Look at where his head is. He hits the backboard. It's been a social media firestorm, everyone responding to it and stuff. How insane. You're not a basketball fan.
I am a basketball fan.
Okay. You're not a basketball collector, but you're a fan. How athletic and cool is that? What a crazy block, right?
Yeah.
Had you seen that before or yesterday?
No, I have not seen that. No.
Okay. LeBron even came out and basically saluted him after the game. Was like, you don't see many athletic plays like that. 2-hand block off the backboard.
If these guys, excited about it. Would you say if you get the best 12 players in today's game against the best 12 players in Jordan's era, what team wins?
Depends on who's reffing.
Okay.
Okay. I feel like it's a ref differently, where the guys in Jordan's era wouldn't be able to be the type of players they are. They'd be different players now, right? They take a lot. They're softer players now because of the way the games are called.
Right. But I would love to see Steph Curry, Luka, Ja Morant, the Nuggets center.
Jokic, yep.
Jokic, yes.
Jokic.
Him, whatever. But a team, with Kevin Durant and James Harden and LeBron James, even as old as LeBron James is, and by the way, is looking older and older.
Right.
But shoot, he's been playing 17, 18 years. So
yeah.
Anyway, it would be interesting to see a team of today's players play against a team of, play the dream team, for crying out loud, from 92, the Olympics.
Well, let me ask you this. If you got the money to buy the top 5 rookie cards for 5 players today or top 5 rookie cards of players in the 90s, what would you go take right now?
And the cost is equal or the cost is unequal?
Well, because we'll eliminate Jordan. We'll say 90s versus 2020s. You take a stack of Doncic, Ja Morant, Zion Williamson type guys, or do you take Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, That era.
I'd take the old era.
You would?
Yeah, I would. David Robinson,
Yeah.
Kobe, Shaq, all day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think most basketball collectors would say that, which I think says to me everything you need to know about what people think about players now versus then.
Well, it is part nostalgia, part just greatness. The players today haven't established that legacy yet. That they might, for sure. Giannis is on his way to doing that, and there's plenty of guys that are on that. Curry's there, LeBron is there, for sure, in terms of eternal legacy, history of the game legacy. But there's still, man, those old school guys, Paul Pierce and
Well, who's Giannis? I know there's a Giannis Antetokounmpo. I've never heard of a Giannis. Is that his brother?
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Hey, bless you.
Thank you. Achoo.
Yeah. All right. So you into the new year, and obviously you're not buying as many cards. You're not buying any.
Well, I bought some actually. I did a video today because I had some found money, that came into my lap, and I talked about how found money can change the way you buy stuff. Like if I gave you $100 or you found $100 on the floor, you might go buy something that you wouldn't necessarily normally buy with other money. You kind of, this is awesome. This is extra. And so I had some found money, hobby money. And so I've been spending it. I bought some good stuff.
Nice. Do you have a list of things that you're buying off of? Is that what you kind of went down, or was there things that you just looked on eBay and said, I need these?
Yes to the second one, and yes to the first one. I found I bought a 1980 Topps Ricky Henderson rookie autograph.
Dang.
And so that was one of those. I probably wouldn't have bought that otherwise. I've been eyeballing that card for a long time, but it was that, this is kind of extra money. Let me just do that. And
you must have had a lot of found money. I mean, I don't know what the grade was, but my gosh, it's an insanely good card.
Well, it's right here. Here, I'll show you. We're actually going to show cards on the fly.
Not graded. It's just the auto grade.
The auto grade's a 10, yeah. Card gotcha. Probably a 6 or 7, but that I wanted the auto. I wanted an autograph rookie card, which that's kind of an sweet. Iconic, great.
Where'd you grab that for?
Rookie 500? No, it was $360. I think I paid for it.
Okay, nice.
About normal, not crazy, good or bad, just kind of what they've been going for.
I'm surprised you didn't take that found money and just head to the Dallas Card Show this weekend and spend it all there. Or did you save some for the Dallas Card Show?
I did save some for the Dallas Card Show, which is this weekend. Excited about that. It should be I'm interested to see what it looks like as the hobby continues to kind of slow down or percolate a little bit. See what the vibe is there. I'll be there, I think Friday, I think I'm going maybe Friday, but it's for sure Saturday.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, I will be interested to hear from you and Matt just about what the feedback is and what the vibe is. Because you're hearing a lot of people say, you hear one end of the spectrum, it's everyone's going to go sell at card shows now because they don't want to deal with their 1099. And then you hear the other end, it's like, oh, it's so putrid right now. Like the momentum is dying. I think there's too many shows now. They're going to start to die off a little bit. And I'm like, there's going to be some middle ground here. I can't wait to see what you say. You'll pick it up quick. I'm sure you'll know.
Yeah. It'll be fun to check out and maybe find some deals. I'm hoping, it's always the dreaded dealers. Are they going to be stuck in peak mindset, or are they going to be realistic on where things are currently on whatever card? And probably some middle ground, some negotiation will need to happen. I have a feeling I'll be pulling my phone out more often than normal to show them. Like if there's a card that's, let's say, buy it now for $100 and they're selling it for $150, I'm like, dude, I can literally go buy it right now for $100. Why would I buy it from you for $150?
Yeah.
Well, and they always say, well, you can have it in your hand right now and you can walk away with it. I can wait 7 days to get the card. It's all right. For $50, sure, or whatever the numbers are. I've run into that a lot before, pre-crazy, right?
Yeah.
And dealers have their arguments why they are selling a certain card at a certain price, and I have my arguments as to why I'm not going to buy it for that.
Yes.
So somewhere in the middle, we try to work it out, or I just walk away.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I can only speak for my little, small group of transactions, but I feel like over the last month, I've started to see people making more aggressive, even above comp offers on good cards. Like, for instance, like a couple of the Aaron Rodgers rookies I have on there, some sweet Tom Brady's I have them high buy it nows, but the offers I'm getting are above recent sell comps. So you're seeing that, which is a good sign to me. But on the flip side, I'm seeing a lot of stuff sit and not even get views that a year ago you're getting 50 views on stuff. So I don't know if it's just the smart money is realizing, okay, I got to put my money into better cards, better cards and pay the money for them, which is a good thing.
Will the hobby continue to become more and more top heavy? I mean, in the better cards, in the GOATs, I hate that word, but the really great players, probably. I think you'll see that continue.
Yeah, I do too. And I also think we're going to have that. We're going to see the next year where grading base cards becomes basically impossible because of the cost. We're going to have that 2-year gap where there will be a little bit of like, well, there's only a pop 500 now of this modern day rookie because it was so expensive. So you're going to pay $300 for a base rookie card, PSA 10. And then you're going to have to like balance out, okay, do you send cards in to get graded again? So it'll be really fun to see this all balance itself out. I don't know. I like that ride.
Yeah, me too. It'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, it will. All right, let me show you the top 10 this week. And I added in CSG as well. I don't think they pop up on here. Number one selling card on the eBay, Giannis. There you go. Giannis. Black label, $45,000.
I do love the red, white, and blues, though. I do love the red, white, and blues.
Agreed. 2013 was great.
Nice
George Mikan, man.
Yeah.
1948 Bowman, $44,000. PSA 7.
Your boy Herbert.
Herbert, number 3. Burrow, number 4.
Wow.
LeBron. There's Mantle, our first vintage. I know, I guess Mikan's a vintage. Comes in at 7 with Mantle. 51, 33K. Is that a good price? $33,000 for PSA 5. It seems pretty good.
Well, that's what I have. So I wouldn't sell mine for $33,000. So
you have a 5?
Yeah.
You wouldn't sell it for 33. What would you sell it for today?
50.
Okay.
Actually, I don't want to sell it at all. So I don't know. It'd have to be some crazy number. I don't need the money, so I don't want to sell it.
You have a two. I don't know what's going on there with 2 Messis. So either there's 2 of those cards or that was a different sell. And then Herbert again with his 2020 National Treasures Black mode. So there you go. There's 3 modern day football players in the top 10 this week on eBay. Which one of those, for those prices, and you had the money, would you buy?
Oh, man. God. Probably, if I had the money, probably I don't like BGS at all, really. So maybe a Herbert RPA. $40,000 though just seems silly for
an 8.5. Yeah, no thanks.
And it's 2020. It's not like it's 1920. It's 2020. So
if I had the money, I think it would be the Giannis for me. Only because, I mean, I love the red and white and blue like you, but it's the black label. Like, that's got to be a pop 1.
Very rare.
I think we could scrounge up 45K. You think Julie be all right with that?
No, I can think of a lot better ways to spend $45,000 than a Giannis.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, man. Any other sports news that stuck out to you? Any other hobby news? Have you paid attention to any hobby news recently this past week? I mean, obviously we talked last week about PSA and their New Year's resolutions, and we got
Tops.
a little pushback on that in the comments, which is fun.
Yeah. Tops, I'm still excited about that. It's been funny how there's really not been a whole lot of follow-up news to that.
Yeah.
Comments from anyone on both sides. It's been like, okay, this is happening, and crickets.
Yeah.
Unless you're seeing something that I'm not.
No, I haven't seen anything. I don't even see people talking about it on social. It's almost like, oh yeah, we expected that to happen. Anyway, on with the rest of the sports car world.
Right.
We alluded to this last week, but I think the bigger news in all this is what the heck is going to happen with Panini. I mean, really, I think that is the biggest news in all of this. I want to know how this affects Panini most, because if Topps becomes the flagship for all sports, I don't think that bodes well for Panini cards holding them. I really don't. I think it does affect their value negatively.
For stuff that's already been released by Panini?
Yep.
Why? Why would that affect that?
Because I think the mindset is Topps is going to be around for the next 20 years. Panini's not. And of course, certain cards will be fine regardless. But the middle of the road cards, I feel like people aren't going to gravitate towards as much. I feel like it's going to be like, okay, allegiance back to Topps. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. Might not affect them at all.
I think about 50s Bowman stuff. Nobody went, well, Bowman's not around anymore, so it's only Topps, so don't collect Bowman cards. I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe that happened back in the 60s. People went, oh, those Bowman people. I don't know, honestly, but I don't know. Interesting idea.
Yeah, I mean, again, certain rookies and certain cards it's not going to matter at all. But I do wonder if Panini kind of just goes away, like do the Tyler Hero rookies and the random like Topps football rookies. Do they have a little bit of like degradation in their values because Topps is now the name brand and you can go get the first Topps card of that player? Like I don't know. I tend to think it does, but I also I'm a Topps fanboy, so I'm really glad Topps got the license.
I do think Panini quickly turns into irrelevancy.
Yeah.
And I think sooner rather than later. They've still got a couple more years on their licenses, but
yeah, well, that's probably the better point. They'll be irrelevant and they might continue to print unlicensed product, which just waters down the Panini brand, because over time you have unlicensed product in basketball and football. The values start tanking and new collectors come in. They're like, why would I buy a Prism rookie? They're crap. It's like, well, back then they weren't unlicensed.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe. There's a lot to that.
You don't seem interested in unpacking that. And that's okay.
No, I don't know what else. Maybe I'm like everybody else. And it's like, okay, we'll see what happens. And that's kind of what I think everybody's feeling is this. Okay, great. Cool news. Now what?
Yeah.
And that's where I think everybody's like, okay, let's kind of see. Yay, now it's all done. Like you said, everybody's like, thanks for sharing the most obvious outcome of this. Well, we didn't know it. We all thought it was everybody thought it was going to happen, but at the same time, nobody knew until it was done. And now everybody's like, well, let's see what it looks like. There's still so much to figure out. So much with that whole thing.
Yeah. Agreed.
I'm excited about it. I am definitely still excited.
I am too. I would expect some sort of news to come out. And I mean, there's some relatively large shows coming up, like was it GEC or GCE, Global Collectibles Expo or something in Vegas. Side note, I did talk to a guy who's fairly well connected, and the Mint Collective that we talked about last week being postponed. His thought was that it was a combination of both not getting the traction they expected out of the show, and a little bit of like, okay, maybe there's some people that might get COVID type thing. So I think we nailed it. I think we nailed that one.
Yeah, it's not surprising. The thing that concerns me right now, and maybe this is what baseball, this is usually the downtime for baseball. Topps is known for baseball, right? So you've got this thing and the continued, owners lockout. That's not being resolved quickly.
Yeah.
And they're talking about now late February, early March. There's different scenarios out there of people. This is people speculating like, hey, if they get a deal done by these certain dates, what does spring training look like? What does the preseason look like? When do they start the season? Do they lose any of the season, et cetera, et cetera? All of which just sounds really crappy to me. I just want them to figure it out and play baseball. Like, can you guys not work this out? So there might be some kind of just hangover. And football's been great. It's taken a lot away from base. You know what I mean? There's other things to pay attention to still.
For sure. I mean, look, thankfully you'll have a lot of good basketball all the way through May. March Madness in March will suck a lot of attention away, and you can withstand it, but baseball can't afford multiple months of a lockout. They just can't. The hobbies, I mean, the hobby will be fine, but it's not going to be good.
Right. Yeah, it's dangerous for them to play this game with their fan base, because a lot of them will just go, nope, I'm done. That's enough.
Yeah. Yeah. It took them 25, 30 years to get a lot of those people back.
Yeah. They don't need to go through that again. That would be disastrous.
Yeah. Agreed. So I was going to ask this earlier, but I got off track. Previous to you taking a break from buying, what was the first few weeks of January? What were you focusing on in your buys? And I asked that because new collectors watching, I think, are trying to figure out, okay, what the market kind of died off a little bit in January, and that's very cyclical. That happens every year in sports cards. For those that don't know that, what happens in January typically for sports cards?
For me, or just in general?
Well, like both. I mean, what for you? How did you kind of always use January? Is that let's ramp up and buy baseball cards?
Yep. It was always an opportunity to pick stuff up that was just getting pushed to the background for whatever reason. Well, not for whatever reason, but because, again, football playoffs, basketball, people are busy with the holidays. People are, distracted with life a lot. January comes around, people are going back to work and busy, and it's like cards, especially baseball, is just on the back burner. And so I looked at, great. I mean, people are still needing to sell stuff that are in the hobby as a business. And so I was always find great deals in late December, January. If you look at like my purchase history, very top heavy or front loaded in January, February, picking up lots of stuff because I found stuff at the price I was excited to pay.
Yeah.
And again, you've mentioned a lot of the factors, right? I mean, it's very normal. This would not be the reason to freak out about the market is what's happening now, because it happens every year. It didn't happen as much last year because we were ramping into February, March, April, absolute peaks of everything. So nothing looked normal last year. But I think now we're getting back to that kind of normal cycle in sports cards, which is good. Yep. That's how it will be long term. Again, you might have an anomaly type of year like we did in 2021, but to me, this just feels normal.
Yeah. No, I'm with you 100%. This is, back before sports card investing became a term, and there was flippers and people that would buy players to sell them. The end of December to early January was used to stockpile baseball players that you were excited about and basketball players that you thought were going to make a run in the playoffs that were like underpriced. And a lot of them are underpriced for many reasons right now. But like the Damian Lillards of the world, the Ja Morants, the Donovan Mitchells, Luka Doncic for that matter, who's been hurt. The next week or two is kind of that last little window to get pretty decent prices before like playoff momentum hits a lot of these cards. This is not the time to buy football cards. Unless you're buying a Hall of Famer, then it's like all bets are off.
Yeah, but to buy Herbert right now, Burrow right now, well, Herbert's out, but you get, these young quarterbacks that could do something in the playoffs. Dangerous time because everybody else is thinking the same thing. That's all.
For sure. Yeah. Well, and I look at it like, your topic of found money. It's like, if you want to build your collection reasonably cheap, jump into some guys now that you want to sell in March or April and sell for some profit to fund your own collection and buy some guys you want.
Yeah, for sure.
Good opportunity to do that. Yeah. All right. So product wise, I mean, there hasn't been a lot, so there's not a lot to talk about with products, but have you paid attention to anything with Bowman draft this year? Do you care?
Not really. The Bowman's Best thing was interesting. The Wandergate, with Wander Franco, rookie cards and all of that. I'm kind of fall on the side of that. If he played this season and he had cards issued that season, that's his rookie card. Those are his rookie cards.
You print a card with his jersey in the same year. It's a rookie card. Like, stop playing the game. Like, it's a rookie card. If you don't want him to have a rookie card, then don't print him in there yet or put a prospect on it. Like, stop playing this game. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I thought it was silly is the best way to put it. Dumb. Like, this is silly. Just do the freaking card and either do it or don't do it.
Yeah.
I thought if they would have put him in update, that would have been unbelievable for update.
Yeah.
And now update's a dumpster fire product. No pun intended. It's, nobody wants update. You could have made update amazing if you put Wander in it. No, we want to hold him out for 2022. Why? Like, why? I don't know.
Yeah. That stuff drives me nuts. Side note, I'm doing a separate video. I mentioned this last week. I opened hundreds of blasters of update, and for two reasons. One, because I had it and the profits to sell it weren't worth it to me. And two, I know how to sell that product opening it, and because it's a very set oriented product. I really like what they did with like the black gold inserts and like the retro 90s. Like, what do they have? The 92 Redux. Like, those are just awesome. I really like what they did there.
Speaking of which, I think I need to send you some money.
Oh, because you bought a base set for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I want a base set.
Yeah. If anyone wants an update base set, let me know. We have a lot of them. That's my son's project.
I'm about to send you a dollar amount that I think I owe you for that.
40, right?
Yeah, but do you want it friends and family or regular?
Friends and family. Hello.
I mean, you are my friend, so
I thought I was family.
And family. Yeah, we're the Bench Clear family. Okay, I just sent you money just so I don't forget later. And that's out of my found money. So see, I don't even feel bad about giving
well, now it becomes found money for me. Well, not really. It becomes found money for my boys.
Okay, asking you about these cases you broke.
Yeah.
Of this. After opening that much of that product, do you go good product, bad product? Like, if you were just to pick one.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, if you look at it through the lens of like a modern day collector that doesn't know what Topps flagship products are meant to be, you would say this is a crappy product, because really all you have is Kellenic as like a decent, like, first rookie. Right. Everybody else is like rookie debuts and such. But like, if you take the time to break apart a Topps update, even if it's the worst release ever, you can sell base sets, insert sets, gold parallels, foil parallels, and make relatively decent money if you have the time to do it, if you have a good system. I've done it for years. I've done it for 10 plus years. So I know for sure how to do it. And it's the same. And I'm going to put a video on like what I learned from putting together or opening 355 blaster boxes. 355.
How many sets did you end up making out of that?
75.
Wow.
Sets. So I'll break down all those numbers. I'll talk about the top hits. And then like, again, this is like to our point 3 years ago, this is a very normal practice. I think we're actually getting back to the point where base sets are kind of cool again. Base sets are selling again. Now it doesn't make sense because people were stopping base sets because it's like, why would I go sell a base set when Luis Robert sells for $25 base, like raw on its own?
Right.
No more of that.
But you think there's money to be made if you're able to do it in a scale that allows you to put together enough sets and other inserts and hopefully hit a few nice cards by themselves that can generate some good cash flow to make that worth your time.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
100%. Not for everybody, but it's the old school way of ripping product.
The Brenton Becca way.
The Brenton Becca way, right? What drove Brenton Becca out of the hobby is now becoming relevant again. It's kind of interesting how it's come full circle.
Do they come back, do you think, if it continues to get better for that environment?
Brent, I don't know. I mean, I haven't texted with Brent in a while. I'll probably reach out to him, but it's this is probably a topic for another week, but I got a couple calls this week from guys that told me that for the first time in over a year and a half, they're getting calls from distributors and saying, hey, we want to up your allocations or give you new allocations on product now. And they didn't even ask for it. They're like, wait, what? You want to give me allocations on that product? And they're like, yep. To me, that says one of two things. One, they're printing the snot out of things, which is probably true, but also could be true. Like a lot of people aren't making money. They're not figuring it out and they're dropping out. They're not paying for their orders. And it's creating guys that have been in this a long time, the opportunity to get allocations back again. So
I love that it's kind of coming. I mean, none of this is shocking, right? None of this surprises those of us that have been in the hobby a long time. We knew it couldn't stay the way it was. It was unsustainable. And so, yay, back to normal. Let's just keep moving on,
Until the next wave.
What else?
I said until the next wave, until the next 150% surge in 2029.
Yeah, it might be a while.
I think so. Well, good stuff, man. We got a lot to look forward to this weekend.
Yeah, this will be fun. And hopefully we'll have some more specific hobby news to discuss next week. But thanks everybody for joining us today.